towards you. And it is not coming from impulse. It is coming from a long season of watching, feeling, holding back, and realizing they cannot live in the almost forever. This feels like someone who has reached the edge of hesitation, and the soul is already leaning forward. The first card I'm seeing is the Chariot, and wow, this is movement with meaning, decision, direction, a heart that has stopped circling and started choosing. I feel this person has been wrestling with timing, fear, and self-control for longer than you know. But something in them has changed. The stillness they once used as protection is no longer comfortable. And Spirit is saying the pressure to move is stronger than the comfort of waiting right beside that. I'm seeing the Knight of Pentacles, beautiful, because this says the move coming towards you is not reckless, not messy, not shallow, but that slowness was not emptiness, it was gathering. I keep hearing something very clearly. I want to do this the right way. That line lands deeply, because it tells me they do not want to rush in with scattered energy and then leave you wondering what it meant. They want to come in with steadiness, with something that can actually hold weight. So yes, I do feel romance here, but I also feel respect. The energy around you feels like the Empress, and I love that. Because it tells me one reason this person is finally moving is that your energy has become impossible to dismiss. You feel valuable, magnetic, worth rising for. I feel they admire you. Yes, but there is also reverence here. They may look at you and feel that if they are going to step forward, they need to do it in a way that honors what your heart is. Then I'm seeing the Two of Wands, and that tells me they have been standing at a threshold for a while, feeling the pull, wondering when the right moment is, or whether they are the one who needs to create the moment. And what Spirit keeps showing me is that the threshold is narrowing. The future they want keeps tugging harder. In that future, they are not standing at a distance from you anymore. They are in motion, they are involved. Another message keeps rising strongly. They don't want to stay in the almost anymore. That says everything, because I feel this person is tired of unfinished energy, tired of the almost message, tired of the almost step, tired of the almost confession. There is a deep weariness here with hesitation itself. And sometimes that is exactly what pushes someone into action, not because fear disappears, but because the pain of standing still grows heavier than the fear of moving. Then the Ace of Wands appears, and wow, that is a powerful confirmation that something is about to ignite. A bold move, a live current, a gesture that changes the atmosphere. I would not be surprised if what comes toward you carries chemistry, confidence, and a kind of directness that catches you off guard in the best way. This feels like somebody who has been restraining their own fire for a while, and now the flame wants air. I also keep hearing they want you to feel chosen. That is beautiful, because it tells me this move is not only about their own need to act. It is also about wanting you to feel the difference between vague energy and genuine pursuit. They want what comes next to mean something. They want the action itself to speak. And then the Sunday steps in. And that changes the whole tone, because this says the move comes with openness, warmth, brightness, the desire to stop hiding and let the truth exist in daylight. I feel this person is tired of shadows. So the message opening this reading is this. Someone is preparing to make a serious move towards you, and the reason it feels so strong is because it is not random. It is the result of long building intention and a heart that has finally decided it would rather risk honesty than keep living inside hesitation. This move has substance, it has purpose, it has feeling, and it changes the shape of what comes next. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. The surprise is not that somebody cares. The surprise is how ready they finally are to show it, because this person is no longer asking whether they should move. They are asking how soon, how clearly, how boldly. And once a heart reaches that point, the distance between desire and action gets very small. So if the air around this connection has felt charged, if your intuition has been nudging you, if something in your chest has been whispering, wait, something is coming. Trust that a move is getting closer, and it is coming from someone far more serious than they looked. What I'm seeing now very clearly is that this person is not only thinking about making a move, they are arranging themselves around it, their emotions, their courage, their timing, even the way they are imagining the moment. It is all starting to line up. This is what makes the energy feel so serious. It is no longer only desire sitting in the background. It is desire becoming a plan. The first card stepping forward is the Emperor, and wow, this tells me the move ahead is meant to carry weight. This person wants to come towards you in a way that feels real, steady, and unmistakable. I do not feel a half-hearted reach here. I do not feel somebody throwing out a little signal just to test your temperature and run away if they feel nervous. No, this feels like somebody who wants to be taken seriously because what they feel has become serious inside them. I keep hearing something very clearly. I want them to know I mean this. That line matters so much because it tells me this person is thinking about impact, about tone, about timing, about how to show you that what comes next is not random, playful noise. The energy around you feels like the star, and I love that because it tells me you are part of what is guiding them out of hesitation. There is something about your energy that feels worth the risk, worth the vulnerability, worth the possibility of hearing. Yes, or even the fear of hearing no spirit keeps showing me that your presence has stayed bright in their inner world. When they imagine what honesty could open, they see you. When they imagine relief from all the circling, they see you. When they imagine what it would feel like to finally act from the heart, again, they see you. Then I'm seeing the Three of Wands, and this says the move is not only emotional, it is future-facing. This person is looking ahead. They are thinking about what happens after they step forward, not just the moment itself. That tells me a lot. It says this is not a reckless impulse, it is a threshold. They are aware that what they do next could change the course of the connection, and something in them is finally ready for that. Another message keeps rising strongly. They are tired of watching from a distance. That lands deeply, because I feel there has been too much observing, too much waiting, too much wondering what would happen if they just did it already, and the heart is losing patience with that version of things. Then the Ace of Pentacles appears, and wow, that is such a beautiful confirmation that the move coming toward you has substance in it. It may arrive through something grounded, something simple, something tangible, but do not mistake grounded for small. I feel this person wants to create an opening you can actually step into a conversation and offer a plan, a clear sign, something that says, I am not just talking about movement, I am moving. And then the Knight of Cups steps in, which adds sweetness, tenderness, and emotional sincerity to the whole reading. So yes, this serious move may still carry romance, softness. Feeling there may be a vulnerability in the way they approach you that lets you feel how much heart has been sitting behind the scenes. I think that is part of what makes the surprise so beautiful. It is not only bold, it is heartfelt. So the message in this next wave is this. Someone is getting ready to come towards you in a way that feels intentional, grounded, and very real. Their heart has stopped treating the connection like a private dream and started imagining what it would mean to bring that dream into life. They want to be seen clearly by you now, and they want their actions to say what words alone have not yet fully carried. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. The reason this feels close is because the move is already happening inside them. The outer action is only catching up to a decision the heart has made. And when that happens, when the inside has already chosen, the outside usually follows faster than expected. So if you have been feeling a pull, a build, a sense that something is quietly assembling itself behind the curtain, trust that this person is not preparing another almost. They are preparing an arrival. And I keep sensing this too. They want the moment to feel memorable, not forced. Not clumsy, not forgettable. They want you to feel the difference between someone who is merely curious and someone who has finally decided to show up. That is why the energy is gathering so carefully. That is why the move feels heavier than a simple message. It carries intention, presence, a choice that has already been turning over in their chest for longer than they probably admit. And very soon, that choice is going to reach you. What I'm getting here very strongly is that this person is not only preparing a move in practical terms, they are emotionally rehearsing what it will mean to stand in front of you with nowhere left to hide. That is why the energy feels so serious now. A move becomes truly powerful when it is not just the hand stepping forward, but the heart stepping forward too. The first card rising here is strength, and wow, this tells me the courage gathering in this person is not loud, wild, or impulsive. It is quiet courage. The kind that forms when somebody has sat with their feelings long enough to know they would rather risk vulnerability than keep living with regret. I feel like they have been trying to master themselves, calm themselves, act normal, appear unaffected, But under all that self-control, the desire to come toward you has only grown steadier. I keep hearing something very clearly. I would rather be brave than be left wondering forever. That line lands right in the center. Because it tells me this person is reaching a threshold where caution no longer feels wise, it feels costly. They may be realizing that every extra day spent holding back only deepens the ache of not knowing what could happen if they finally moved honestly. The energy around you feels like the Queen of Cups. And I love that so much because it tells me your emotional presence is part of what is giving them courage. You may not even know it, but your energy feels safe enough for truth, soft enough for a real confession, deep enough that they believe you would understand what is sincere. Even if they do not say every word perfectly around you, the heart does not only feel exposed, it also feels invited. Then I'm seeing the Page of Wands, and this adds such a beautiful spark because yes, there is seriousness here, but there is also excitement. A flutter, a hopeful rush. I feel this person may be imagining your expression, your response, the change in the atmosphere when the move is finally made. There is a part of them that is nervous, absolutely. But there is also a part that lights up at the thought of no longer standing still. Another message keeps rising strongly. They want to surprise you by finally matching their feelings with action. That one matters because I feel there may have been a mismatch before. Big feeling, small action, big tension, little movement, deep care, not enough proof. And Spirit is showing me that this imbalance is exactly what they want to change now. Then the Six of Wands appears, and wow, that tells me they want to come toward you with confidence, not fake confidence, honest confidence. The kind that says, I know what I feel, and I am not ashamed to stand in it. They want the move to feel clear. They want you to see that they are no longer hiding behind distance, excuses, or uncertainty. This is someone who wants their presence to answer all the questions their silence once created. And then the Two of Cups steps forward, which is beautiful confirmation that what is pushing this move is not ego, it is connection, mutual pull. The sense that something real already exists between you and deserves to be honored by action. I feel this person is not only thinking about what they want, they are thinking about what the bond itself wants, and the bond wants movement now. So the message in this next wave is this: someone is about to make a serious move toward you because courage has finally become stronger than hesitation. They are tired of living in the gap between what they feel and what they do. They want to bring those two things together. And because your energy feels both magnetic and emotionally safe to them, the step forward is beginning to feel less like risk and more like destiny asking to be answered. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. The move is not being built from impulse. It is being built from alignment, from a heart that has looked at the truth from every angle and keeps arriving at the same answer. That is why the energy feels so calm and intense at the same time, because the decision is ripening. And once it is ripe, it does not stay on the branch forever. It falls into life. It becomes visible. It becomes real. It becomes the moment you look back on later and say, yes, that was when everything began to change. And I keep sensing this. They do not want the next step to feel accidental. They want it to feel chosen, intentional, remembered. So if the air around this connection has felt fuller lately, if your intuition has been nudging you to stay open, if something in your chest keeps saying, wait, something is approaching, trust it, the heart behind this move no longer drifts. It is arriving. Like the moment a sealed letter is finally turned over in someone's hands. This next current feels weighted, private, and on the verge of becoming visible. What I'm getting here very strongly is that this person is no longer satisfied with feeling something huge for you in silence while life keeps moving around them as if nothing important is happening. The inside and the outside are starting to clash. Their heart is making one argument, their old caution is making another, and the heart is winning now. The first card stepping forward is the Knight of Cups. And wow, this tells me the move coming towards you carries tenderness in it. Not only courage, not only desire, not only urgency, tenderness. This person wants to approach you in a way that lets you feel their sincerity. I do not get cold strategy here. I get someone wanting the energy to soften between you, open between you, become honest enough that what has been living underneath finally has room to breathe. I keep hearing something very clearly. I want them to feel what I've been trying to hide. That line says everything, because the move is not just about contact, it is about translation. turning private feeling into something you can actually see, hear, and receive. The energy around you feels like the high priestess, and I love that so much because it tells me they know your intuition is not small. You are not someone they can approach with lazy energy and expect not to notice the gaps. They feel on some level that you would sense whether the move is real or not, whether the heart is in it or not, whether the intention can hold weight or not, and that awareness is actually making them more careful, more deliberate, and more truthful. Then I'm seeing the Eight of Pentacles. And this is important because it says they are not only planning a gesture, they are preparing an approach, thinking through details. Wanting to get it right, I feel like this person may be refining what to say, how to say it, what kind of opening would feel natural, what kind of step would show maturity instead of confusion. Spirit keeps showing me someone who does not want to sabotage the moment with half a fort. They want the move to reflect the seriousness of what they feel. And their message keeps rising strongly. They want their actions to finally match the intensity that lands deeply. Because I think part of what has been frustrating them, maybe even embarrassing them a little, is the mismatch between how much they feel and how little they have shown. The inner world has been loud. The outer world has not always reflected that. And they are getting tired of that split, tired of being read as less serious than they are, tired of carrying a heart full of truth while appearing more restrained than the truth deserves. Then the Sunday appears, and wow, that tells me the move wants daylight, openness, a feeling of relief. This is not the energy of somebody trying to stay hidden while sending mixed signals from the dark. I feel like this person wants to bring warmth into the connection, a clear shift, a visible step, something that allows both of you to stop standing in emotional shadow. The more they think about moving toward you, the more it starts to feel like freedom instead of danger. And then the final card I'm seeing here is the Wheel of Fortune, which is perfect because it tells me timing is turning, the wheel is moving, the pause is ending. So the message in this next movement is this: someone is about to make a serious move toward you because they can no longer live with the split between what they feel and what they show. Their heart wants expression, their effort wants form, their truth wants daylight. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. This is not random momentum. This is a turning point. The kind that happens when somebody finally realizes that the right person is too important to keep meeting with hesitation. So if everything has felt suspended, if the connection has carried that strange, not yet energy, if your intuition keeps saying that a shift is closer than it looks, believe that. Because what is building here is not a maybe, it is a move shaped by tenderness, intention, and the desire to let you finally see what has been real all along. And once it begins, I do not feel them wanting to retreat back into vagueness again, this time. The heart wants to be known. There is one more thing Spirit keeps pressing into this reading. They are not moving because the feeling is new. They are moving because the feeling has become undeniable. That changes everything. New feelings hesitate. Undeniable feelings act. And what stands out so clearly now is that this person is no longer trying to convince themselves to care. They already do. They are no longer trying to decide whether you matter, you already do. Now the only thing left is showing you. For real soon. Like the final thread being pulled through a needle. This next movement feels precise, faded, and very close to becoming visible. What I'm getting here is that this person is no longer only gathering courage, they are gathering momentum. There is a difference. Courage is the trembling before the step. Momentum is when the step has already begun somewhere inside and now the rest of the person is being asked to follow. That is exactly what this feels like. Their heart has already moved. Their thoughts are catching up. Their actions are almost ready to meet them there. The first card stepping forward is the Ace of Wands. And wow, this tells me the move ahead is alive with spark, heat, and boldness. There is a real ignition in this person now. I feel like something has shifted from passive longing into active desire. Not only the desire to have you near, but the desire to do something undeniable about it. They are tired of being a silent current in the background. They want to become a visible force in your world. That is why the energy feels so charged. It is not sitting still anymore. I keep hearing something very clearly. I want to stop imagining the moment and actually create it. That line lands hard because it tells me this person has already spent enough time replaying possibilities in their head. Enough time wondering how you would look at them, what you would say, whether the connection would open wider if they just made the move. And now the repetition is changing them. Instead of soothing them, it is starting to push them. The heart is saying, enough with the rehearsal, go live it. The energy around you feels like the Queen of Wands. And I love that so much because it tells me your magnetism is still one of the main things pulling them forward. You feel unforgettable to them, bright, distinct, fully alive. I feel like when they imagine stepping toward you, they also imagine what it would feel like to finally stand in the full warmth of your attention that matters. This person does not want another vague exchange, another floating almost, another brush with possibility that never quite lands. They want a real shift in energy, a moment you can both feel. Then I'm seeing the Two of Cups, and wow, that gives the whole reading such emotional beauty because this move is not only about boldness, it is about mutuality. They want meeting response, emotional recognition. I feel like they want to know what happens when their heart stops standing behind the curtain and comes all the way forward into the connection. There is a deep wish here to be received by you in a new way. Another message keeps rising strongly. They want to cross the line between tension and truth. That is powerful because I do feel there has been tension, unspoken energy, a pull, a charge, maybe chemistry that lingered, maybe feelings that sat in the room without being named. And now this person wants to bring all of that into the open, not to make things heavy, but to make them real. Then the Six of Wands appears, and that tells me they want this move to be unmistakable. They want you to see it, feel it, recognize that something has changed. I feel this person is tired of being misread or of leaving too much room for interpretation. So the action they take may have a clarity to it, a confidence, a this is me choosing to show up kind of energy. There is a healthy pride here now, not arrogance, the pride of finally standing in what is true. And then the Page of Pentacles steps in, which says the move may begin in a grounded way, a message, an invitation, a plan, a suggestion that opens a door, something tangible. Spirit keeps showing me that this person does not want the step to vanish into thin air. They want to place something real in front of you, something you can answer, something you can step toward too. If your heart wishes, the message in this next current is this. Someone is about to make a serious move toward you because their inner world has stopped accepting delay as a safe option. The spark is lit, the emotional bond is clear. The desire to turn possibility into reality is becoming stronger than the fear of doing it imperfectly. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. This is no longer a heart waiting for permission. It is becoming a heart in motion. That is why the atmosphere feels different now. Why the bond feels louder now, why your intuition may already sense the approach before the outer evidence fully arrives. The move is not random. It is the natural next step of a truth that has ripened long enough. And very soon you are going to feel the difference between someone who cared quietly and someone who finally decided to come closer in a way you cannot miss. Because this time they do not want the connection to live only in possibility. They want it to step into the room, look you in the eyes, and become real, at last for real. This final movement feels undeniable, warm, and irreversible. Because what I'm getting here, more than anything, is that the moment of almost is ending, the wondering, the circling, the private ache, the watching, the inner rehearsals, all of that has been leading here to motion to arrival. To the point where somebody's heart can no longer live behind the curtain when everything inside them is already stepping towards you. The first card stepping forward is the Chariot. And wow, this is the clearest sign yet that the move is not staying in thought. It is becoming action. It is becoming visible. It is becoming the kind of shift you can feel in the connection. I do not get hesitation as the final note here. I get resolve. This person may still feel nervous, yes, but the desire to come toward you has become stronger than comfort of holding back. They are no longer satisfied with loving the possibility from afar. They want contact with the real thing. I keep hearing something very clearly. I have waited long enough. That line changes everything. Because it tells me this person knows the season of delay has reached its edge. Not because the feeling weakened, but because it strengthened, it matured. It kept returning until it became impossible to dismiss. And now the heart is no longer asking whether it should move. It is asking how honestly, how clearly, and how soon it can. The energy around you feels like the star, and I love that so much because it tells me you are still the bright point they keep orienting toward. When they imagine peace, they think of you. When they imagine relief from the restless pull of all these unexpressed feelings, they think of you. When they imagine what it might feel like to stop carrying the connection privately and finally let it breathe in daylight. Again, it is you. That is why the move is serious. It is not about curiosity. It is about a heart reaching for what already feels meaningful. Then I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles, and this is such a beautiful confirmation that the step coming toward you wants substance, not mixed signals, not drifting flirtation, not another half-open door. I feel something practical here, tangible. A message that matters. An invitation with intent in it. A gesture that gives the bond somewhere real to stand. This person wants to offer something you can actually hold, answer, respond to, and step into if it resonates with you. Another message keeps rising strongly. I want this to begin in a way that counts, that one lands deeply because it tells me they are not only thinking about what they feel. They are thinking about the quality of the move itself. They want it to mean something, to feel different, to carry enough truth that you know this is not just another passing ripple. Then the Sunday appears, and wow, this says the energy of the move is brightening everything around it. What was once hidden wants openness. What was once uncertain wants clarity. What was once held close to the chest wants warmth and visibility. I do feel that once this person steps forward, the atmosphere changes quickly. There may be relief in it, freshness in it, a kind of emotional exhale that happens when two people no longer have to stand so far away from what has been true. And then the final card stepping forward is the Two of Cups. Beautiful. Because this says the move lands where it has always wanted to land, in mutual recognition and response, in the meeting point between one heart brave enough to come forward and another heart able to feel what that courage means. So the deepest message in this final movement is this. Someone is about to make a serious move toward you because their heart has fully crossed from longing into readiness. They are done studying the door. Done standing near the threshold. Done calling distance wisdom when it has really just been fear dressed politely. The feeling is real, the intention is real, and now the motion is real too. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. This surprise is not arriving to disturb your peace. It is arriving because peace was never meant to live inside so much unsaid truth. The move is coming to clear the air, to shift the field, to let what has been building inwardly finally have a body in the outer world. And if your intuition has been fluttering, if your chest has been sensing a change, if the connection has felt charged in that strange, quiet, unmistakable way, trust it, because what approaches now is not an accident. It is a heart that has finally chosen to stop standing still. And once it reaches you, I do not feel the connection slipping backward into vagueness again. This time, the energy wants to stay visible. This time, the truth wants to stand up and be seen. This time, the move is real, and you are going to feel it. The first card stepping forward is the Chariot. And wow, this is the clearest sign yet that the move is not staying in thought. It is becoming action. It is becoming visible. It is becoming the kind of shift you can feel in the connection. I do not get hesitation as the final note here. I get resolve. This person may still feel nervous, yes, but the desire to come toward you has become stronger than comfort of holding back. They are no longer satisfied with loving the possibility from afar. They want contact with the real thing. I keep hearing something very clearly. I have waited long enough. That line changes everything. Because it tells me this person knows the season of delay has reached its edge. Not because the feeling weakened, but because it strengthened, it matured. It kept returning until it became impossible to dismiss. And now the heart is no longer asking whether it should move. It is asking how honestly, how clearly, and how soon it can. The energy around you feels like the star, and I love that so much because it tells me you are still the bright point they keep orienting toward. When they imagine peace, they think of you. When they imagine relief from the restless pull of all these unexpressed feelings, they think of you. When they imagine what it might feel like to stop carrying the connection privately and finally let it breathe in daylight. Again, it is you. That is why the move is serious. It is not about curiosity. It is about a heart reaching for what already feels meaningful. Then I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles, and this is such a beautiful confirmation that the step coming toward you wants substance, not mixed signals, not drifting flirtation, not another half-open door. I feel something practical here, tangible. A message that matters. An invitation with intent in it. A gesture that gives the bond somewhere real to stand. This person wants to offer something you can actually hold, answer, respond to, and step into if it resonates with you. Another message keeps rising strongly. I want this to begin in a way that counts, that one lands deeply because it tells me they are not only thinking about what they feel. They are thinking about the quality of the move itself. They want it to mean something, to feel different, to carry enough truth that you know this is not just another passing ripple. Then the Sunday appears, and wow, this says the energy of the move is brightening everything around it. What was once hidden wants openness. What was once uncertain wants clarity. What was once held close to the chest wants warmth and visibility. I do feel that once this person steps forward, the atmosphere changes quickly. There may be relief in it, freshness in it, a kind of emotional exhale that happens when two people no longer have to stand so far away from what has been true. And then the final card stepping forward is the Two of Cups. Beautiful. Because this says the move lands where it has always wanted to land, in mutual recognition and response, in the meeting point between one heart brave enough to come forward and another heart able to feel what that courage means. So the deepest message in this final movement is this. Someone is about to make a serious move toward you because their heart has fully crossed from longing into readiness. They are done studying the door. Done standing near the threshold. Done calling distance wisdom when it has really just been fear dressed politely. The feeling is real, the intention is real, and now the motion is real too. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. This surprise is not arriving to disturb your peace. It is arriving because peace was never meant to live inside so much unsaid truth. The move is coming to clear the air, to shift the field, to let what has been building inwardly finally have a body in the outer world. And if your intuition has been fluttering, if your chest has been sensing a change, if the connection has felt charged in that strange, quiet, unmistakable way, trust it, because what approaches now is not an accident. It is a heart that has finally chosen to stop standing still. And once it reaches you, I do not feel the connection slipping backward into vagueness again. This time, the energy wants to stay visible. This time, the truth wants to stand up and be seen. This time, the move is real, and you are going to feel it. The first card stepping forward is the Chariot. And wow, this is the clearest sign yet that the move is not staying